When we get into the topic of purpose, the first thing that we need to be aware of, and this is within the context that we work with here at USM, is that there's a difference based upon what level of consciousness you're asking the question at. So the first level of consciousness, those of you who are grads and current students, you'll recognize it's physical world reality. Has to do with what we call the goal line of life. And we call it the goal line because it has a negative and a positive quality to it. And success is generally measured in terms of how you're progressing along that line from negative experiences to positive experiences. And rightly so, people have purpose on that goal line. But while all of that is going on, there is a whole other reality that is going on that we refer to as spiritual reality, and we refer to that as the soul line of life. These two lines, or these two ways of being in the world, really have to do with the eyes out through which you're looking. Most of the people on the planet are still operating primarily with a physical world reality orientation to life. And maybe you have the purpose on that line to be a doctor or a lawyer or a musician, and those are all fine. Those are all fine. You want to have aspirations in where you're living your life. But in addition to that, when you start thinking about that, a better definition or description of us, rather than human beings who have souls, as Teilhard de Chardin put it, we're really souls having a human experience. And really, to be even more accurate, souls using a human experience for the soul's purpose. What might that purpose be? Awakening. Awakening. And so what do we mean by awakening? And all too often when people see this kind of a depiction, one would think that, well, if I'm going up the soul line, what am I going toward? And all of the world's major religions are in total agreement about this, believe it or not. That the more you awaken, the more you come in to a sense of your essential nature, which is loving. There isn't any fighting about that, believe it or not. You'd think there would be, but there really isn't. Loving. But then we fall into an error in thinking, because we think the goal is to become a more loving person. Become a more loving. I would submit to you, how can you become more of what you already are? Can you become more of a human being? Not really. What do you become? What does that soul line represent? It represents awakening. What we become as we grow spiritually is more aware of our essential nature, which is a loving being. And in that context, purpose takes on a bit of a different meaning. More and more people are asking questions of awakening. More and more people are asking questions of purpose.